Like Purdue, it's just an example. Purdue losing to Fresno State is okay. We still win the Big Ten West. But me,
Billy Napier gets fired. I'm just kidding.
Really the best time of the year. I will be seated watching Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to an episode of Banter. Johnny, James, Tanner. Absolute cinema was March Madness.
Oh yeah.
I've never watched so much basketball my entire life. We collectively
I think
together.
we say that every year, though. Yeah.
I don't know, but so after we filmed the podcast last week, we immediately turned on all the games and we sat here for just hours on end. So many good games, so much bad officiating, so much bad coaching, so much good coaching, so much. What Dan Hurley's doing at UConn, by the way. We'll talk about them. Tanner, what's been your biggest takeaway from the first 2 rounds?
Biggest takeaway from me, just in general, as far as like the state of the bracket, state of the tournament goes, very excited for the Sweet 16. It's great to always have a team or two that like pulls off a big upset or makes a Cinderella run. But at the end of the day, when you have all the favorites winning in the round of 32, now we have a Sweet 16 where it's like every single game should be high-level basketball. Close games, great teams, like great coaches. Like next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is going to be the best games of this tournament by far.
Yep.
And that's my biggest takeaway. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I gotta say next takeaway probably SEC and Big 12 a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah, but SEC before Tennessee, they were in utter shambles.
Yeah,
especially
it's pretty incredible actually. Like I think it's incredible because we've talked about it. We've kind of bickered back and forth about conferences, and the conferences that we were like, oh, they suck, they whatever, they're doing well in the tournament. You look at the ACC, one of the worst conferences this year, no doubt. I mean, Virginia was a 3 seed, and now they have 4 teams in the Sweet 16, and it's like very incredible. Obviously, it's about these opportunities. Like you're giving these teams opportunities to maybe come back, make some miracles. Obviously, NC State is the miracle out of the ACC, but it's good. Like these kids are still great basketball players, so it's amazing to see. But shout out to the Big East. They're 6-0, so incredible. I thought maybe could have gotten one more team in the tournament. Whatever.
They would have been 6-0.
But they wouldn't. But they wouldn't have been 8-0, right? So shout out to the Big East. But yeah, it's been amazing. We've spent a lot of time together. But it's great basketball ahead, like Tanner's saying. There's some great matchups, and there's some teams out there that are going to be sitting at that 4 or 5 seed that I wouldn't be surprised. And one of them is San Diego State. Obviously, Yale is whatever. It's coming out of the Ivy League. Looked impressive against a good Auburn team, but San Diego State has looked like the team they were last year, and they made a very long run last year, obviously. So watch out for them, sitting at that 5 seed, I think. So
I would be very surprised if San Diego State beat UConn.
I don't know, man.
Rematch.
I don't know.
UConn just rolls everyone. They're just a machine.
Yep.
And I saw a clip today. It described it so perfectly. They just out-execute everyone. Mm-hmm. They might not have the best players. They have really, really good players. But, my God, they just out-execute you. Like, they boat race Northwestern. And one of you guys was talking about that at Chance. I was like, no, they don't. Like, they're going to
I don't claim that one.
They're going to boat race.
I don't claim that take.
By the way, our Backyard Banter bracket is in first in our bracket pool. Shout out to everyone that joined. There's over 40 people that joined. And ours is in first, and we have the highest percentage to win.
I feel like I thought it was Brett, but hey. We're up there.
Brett's is in first, but ours is the highest percentage to win.
I got you.
Yeah, shout out to Brett, man. Look at his blue.
He's got Duke winning it.
Yeah. Now, my biggest takeaway is, first, death, taxes, and freaking Mark Few. I'll tell you what he's done at Gonzaga, 9 straight Sweet 16s, and this one was probably the most impressive.
Yeah.
Just so up and down. Was on the bubble at one point. And then, like, his biggest competition in conference play between St. Mary's, who I literally said on this very podcast, loses every single year. They will never make the Sweet 16. And they're a 5 seed. Yep. I don't know. The committee, I think, did a really bad job with the seeding, and it showed, right? Like, for example, you have a Florida-Colorado game that's really should have been like a 6-8 matchup, and it's in the 7-10. I know it's just 1 seed line, but it's whatever. But
I think this is the worst seeding I can remember.
Yeah, it was bad.
As a basketball fan, where I actually pay attention to Selection Sunday.
You could have gone down. BYU should not have been in 6. Duquesne shouldn't have been 11. Even though they beat BYU, they shouldn't have been in 11. And you could have gone down. There's probably 9 or 10 big gaps that have been like, wow, I don't know how that really lines up. But my biggest takeaway is the Carolina schools. Yeah. 3 three North Carolina schools, three North Carolina schools in the Sweet 16. So I just want to give a quick shout out to my family. You guys know my grandpa passed over the summer. He was a huge Carolina basketball fan, and this is the first time this is only the fourth time ever that all three of them are on the Sweet 16.
Yeah, that's dope.
Shout out to my tia Annette. She gave me that text this morning.
There you go.
So I just think it's crazy. He was a huge North Carolina fan, played basketball in college, but
that's great.
And I think it goes to the luck of the draw. That's my biggest takeaway. You see Alabama, and I think if they play a high major team, I think if they play they play St. Mary's. I think if they played any other team in that second round, they're not in the Sweet 16 right now. And it's San Diego State rolled. They might have beat Auburn regardless, but even like Iowa State didn't look that good until the end. You have Tennessee that looked really shaky. I think that was a really big win for Tennessee because Dalton Knecht was not shooting the ball well.
He was awful.
And they still won. And we talked about their defense might have been a little shaky. Man, they clamped down when they needed to against Texas. Yeah. And that's scary because Tennessee can beat you. Dalton Knecht can beat you by yourself. That Creighton-Tennessee game is my favorite game of the Sweet 16.
I'm so excited. And they were my 2 of my 3 like national champion picks. And so I'm so excited to watch that.
That's a Final Four level matchup.
Yeah.
And there's a great amount of them. But Creighton surviving, that was probably the best game of the tournament so far. That in the Houston A&M game.
Yeah, great game.
Bailey Shireman, come on, little fadeaway. Oh, Baylor Shireman, not Bailey.
Yeah,
Baylor Shireman, a little fadeaway to tie it.
Well, and what's his name? I mean, we talked about it here as a group when we were all watching the games. This was the first time Oregon was healthy, fully healthy. Yeah. And man, did they? If I would have been excited, I would have been excited to watch that team all season long if they were healthy.
If they had one more competent player, two of their guys scored all their points in the second half except for 2. Kuznard, he was unreal.
He wasn't
missing.
South
Carolina transfer. He gave South Carolina 40. That's what I'm talking about. South Carolina's a very good team all year out of the SEC, and it just takes one guy to give you 40, and you're out.
He didn't miss.
Yeah,
he did not miss. And Dante, I mean.
Yeah,
one of the most impressive bigs I've watched.
I think they said a 9-4 standing reach, which
and he had like 24 rebounds.
Yeah, it looks like it, dude. Like it's like there's a few guys where you're like when you watch them on TV, you're like, oh my gosh, and he's one of them for sure.
But we'll have our full predictions for the Sweet 16. James won't be here, but he will give us
probably talk about my Illini you guys should.
Oh, but another team that got a pretty easy draw. I'm just messing.
Easy draw. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, Illinois, man, they got matched up with Iowa State. I'm looking forward to it. I think obviously
I think that's Tanner's favorite game of the week.
I'm confident as a fan. I'm confident, but Illinois' offense is unreal. Terrence Shannon, he's averaging 32 points in postseason play.
I would take Terrence Shannon over any wing left in the over anyone except for one wing in the entire rest of the tournament. I'd take Dalton over him. Besides that, I would take Terrence Shannon over everyone.
He's so fast. How do you guard him?
Yeah, my last point is I would live to see a UConn-Houston national championship, by the way. Yeah. I think I was just watching Jamal Shead yesterday. I know you would, but Jamal Shead, Tristan Newton in a Final Four national championship.
Jamal Shead is tough, dude. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That
every game he just gets better.
How about your Boilermakers, T?
Yeah, I mean they look good, I guess.
Take care of business.
I think the team's really locked in right now. You can tell just by how they're carrying themselves on the court and off the court right now. They're very locked in, they're focused. So I love seeing that. Gonzaga is going to be tough. It's going to be a battle. It's going to Mark Few versus Matt Painter, and people love to joke about Matt Painter choking, but at the end of the day, he's one of the best X's and O guys in the country.
I never got the Matt Painter choking thing because they're in the tournament every year, and then. 60% of the time in the Sweet 16?
5 out of the last 7.
Yeah, I'm not good at math, but that's way higher than 60.
I think so, yeah.
But my beloved Florida Gators lost probably one of the better games in the tournament.
Really good game.
Epic game.
Really good
Walter
game.
Clayton, man, shout out to you. That was probably the first or second worst officiated game, both ways. I told them this Florida didn't deserve to win, but man, the refs did everything in their power to make it as hard as they possibly could. Yeah. I told them there's an impartial guy that grades referees' performances, and he said that it was the worst second half officiated game that he's seen in the last 7 years in the tournament. And credit to the NCAA, they took off Curry's ref's last name. They took him off the tournament. He's not ref anymore. Yeah. So shout out that he cannot ruin another game like he did with the Florida game. But yeah, I mean, Todd Golden had 3 technicals in his entire career, and he gave him 2 of them. And I'm sure Todd Gold did not want a technical when he's down 6 with 5 minutes left in a tournament game.
Probably not, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, Florida basketball is relevant again, and there's nothing I love more. And Tanner even said this, Todd Golden's the guy to have at the head of the program right now.
Love him as a coach.
So,
hey, he's legit.
Love Florida. Love March Madness in general. Florida losing did not dampen my March Madness.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't even that upset. Like he was upset.
I was upset. I was more shocked that Washington put it for the logo.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. Like it's not a good shot, but when it goes in, it's incredible.
It goes in.
It's a good shot for Walter Clay. Let me rephrase that. It's a good shot for
He
Walter
can do whatever he wants when he makes that.
But
I agree.
Yeah, Sweet 16 predictions coming for the next episode, but wow, there's so many good matchups.
Yeah, excited.
Can't wait for it.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. With all the excitement of March Madness, a lot of people forget opening day is this Thursday.
Yeah.
The Dodgers and the Padres already played over in Seoul in Korea, and they split the series over there. But everyone else starts opening day this Thursday. And speaking of the Dodgers and Padres, we're going to be predicting the NL West 100% correctly, or your money back.
Exactly.
I'll just go ahead and start. I think we all have the same 5.
Yep.
The Rockies.
Absolutely.
Talk about a team that's just
in shambles.
Even Chris Bryant, your guys' beloved hero, Chris Bryant.
It's so sad to see what's happening to him because he can't stay healthy.
Well, it's his fault. Did you see his interview? It's like, I probably should have researched them a little more. Like, probably. They have no present, and I know they just re-signed one of their infielders.
Ezekiel Tovar.
But they don't really have much of a future.
Well, the Rockies, and with Chris Bryant going to the Rockies, his agent, you probably remember his name. You know his name. He's signed. I think he's with Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, Scott Boras.
He is a guy that, I just hate him. I hate when he deals with teams and whatever, and I think he's obviously the big reason why he's in Colorado. But here's the thing. He's a guy who hit 10 home runs last year. That's it, right? And he's his under-over this year is 19.5. So Vegas thinks he's going to have a break-off year, and as a big Chris Bryant fan, I hope so, but even if he does, the Rockies don't have anything else. They have nothing else. So the Rockies, man, I hope you guys sell a lot of beer this season and maybe make some money to maybe make some moves next offseason. But you got to figure it out, especially in this division. I mean, they're bad.
The next, any one of these next 4 could, I guess, next 3 above them because I think the Dodgers could win 120 games, but. The next,
might win
any of those next 3
161.
could make the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the Rockies won the World Series in 2007, and then they have made the playoffs 2 or 3 times since.
They made it in 2018.
I know they had the Troy Tulowitzki.
Yeah, they beat the Cubs in that
Gonzalez duo.
play-in game. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
they're bad. I just hope Chris Bryant stays healthy.
Yeah, I hope he has a good season.
Anyway, for number 4, this might be a little controversial. I guess not really. I have the Giants. The Giants. Just picked off the scrappy. All the Scott Boras guys that didn't get signed. Oh, Matt Chapman, we'll take you. Come play third for us. You're one of the best defending third basemen. Oh, Blake Snell, you'll only go 4 and a third, but you won't give up a run. Here we go. You can come pitch for us. Logan Webb, Blake Snell are one of the. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch, but they're always 81 and 81.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I agree. I also have the Giants at 4, which it sucks because I do think this is a good team. I think it's a quality team. But Matt Chapman, I said it all offseason. I don't want the Cubs to get him. That pickup doesn't really move me with them. I know he's good defensively. Jorge Soler, good pickup. Mm-hmm. They lose their big power guy in Jock Peterson. Let's bring in Jorge Soler, kind of the same type of player, just a right-handed bat instead. Love the rotation. Bullpen is okay. They don't really have a catcher. Joey Bart has kind of been a bust.
They're saying he was the next Buster Posey.
Yeah, their middle infield is just not good. So, I don't know. I think this team is going to finish above 500.
Yeah.
82 and 80.
82 and 80. I wouldn't be shocked if they're fighting for a wild card spot.
With that being said, if they're in the AL Central, I think they'd win the AL Central.
That's
just they might be 4th in this division, but that's just to put it in comparison.
I do like the Jung Ho Lee pickup.
Yeah.
He could win Rookie of the Year, so good for them.
Yeah. Tanner just stole my point because I have it written here. He could easily win Rookie of the Year. He's a huge talent coming over here. I personally have the Giants finishing at 3rd, and I almost put them at 2nd. I think, like you said, they kind of grabbed the little pieces, but those pieces, man, they're enough to win. And so the 82 and 80 is a good take because they're going to play these teams, and obviously with the new MLB scheduling, they're going to play everybody. But, you're going to play these teams more often, and I think it's a tough division to win in, especially if you're not the Dodgers. So I personally could see the Giants finishing 2nd. But I have them at my third. I have the Padres at fourth. Personally, I don't know if you guys want to get. I don't know if that's where your third is. I'm gonna guess that's where the Padres are.
I have the Padres at 2, actually.
Okay.
A little controversial.
Okay.
But I have the Diamondbacks at 3. I still think that they'll make the playoffs. So when we talk about the Padres, since as a group we're gonna have them at 3 in our backyard. But I just think the Padres have too much talent. I mean, you look across their infield. They go Machado, Bogarts, Cronenworth, and Kim.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, right?
That's correct.
And then you go in the outfield. Oh, there's Fernando Tatis. He's pretty good also. And then and then they pick up Cease from the White Sox.
Yeah.
You have Musgrove. I know you lose Hader, but it's like that's a playoff team. They should make the playoffs. There's no excuse for them not to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean that's basically it. I just think they should make the playoffs.
They are incredible.
I mean, I just rattle off 8 names,
All-stars,
and they're all very much above average players. And Tatis is one of the best players in baseball.
Yeah,
Machado's had a great few years in San Diego.
No,
maybe even underrated.
It's a great take. I don't care about the Juan Soto leaving. I don't care about that because at the end of the day, it's like one of those teams where they had so much talent and it wasn't working, right? And I'm not saying it wasn't working necessarily. They're still winning games, but you look at this team year after year now. They've kind of had that group now for some years. Obviously, the Dylan Cease signing is a big deal for them, but I haven't seen them put it together, right? I haven't seen the Padres. They have a roster to go out there and win 100 games. They absolutely do, but they haven't done that for me. So that's why I have them finishing fourth. But again, this is a division where, as long as the Rockies finish fifth, 4-3-2-1, well, 4-3-2. I don't really care who is. It's interchangeable for me. So I kind of like that. Obviously, you're just named off 8 All-Stars. So it's pretty incredible what the Padres are able to do.
I mean, they were 3 games away from the World Series 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were right there. They were in the championship series. I mean, they were in the running to win a pennant. And then they really came on. I don't know if you guys remember last year. All of a sudden, the last month of the year,
they really turned it
on. Almost had a push to get in the play. Yeah.
Obviously, this old saying is the standings don't count until after Labor Day, or not after Labor Day, whatever, after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
But
that's a lie.
Yeah, I don't know. The Padres
you can lose the season in April.
Yeah, you could. I mean, the Rays made the playoffs in April. They won 13 straight, and they're like, okay, they're not missing the playoffs at this point.
Yep.
But we can get into our number 2, and I don't hate the
I never got to say anything on the Padres.
Go ahead, talk about the Padres.
They brought in a new manager, so I love that for them. They needed it because I feel like
Melvin was not it.
He was not it. So good for them getting that in there. Love their arms. Cease as your third guy in the rotation. They still view Darvish.
Mm-hmm.
Manny Machado, Tatis, Ha-Seong Kim, great player. Jake Cronenworth, great player. They have so many good players. I have the Padres in a wild card.
There you go. I like that.
I do too. And my third, but you have them at 2, right? Tanner, the Diamondbacks?
Yeah.
So our 2 is the Diamondbacks. Anytime a team that made the World Series got better, a really good sign. Really like their offseason moves. Get into Eduardo Rodriguez from the Tigers. He declined a lot of trades last year. Stayed in Detroit, wanted to go do his own thing. I think that might be one of the most under-the-radar pickups of the whole offseason.
Absolutely.
100%.
Look, the Diamondbacks, they didn't make the World Series by accident. I know they beat up the Cubs for the final wild card spot, and then they really turned it on. They took care of the Brewers. They took care of the Dodgers, and anytime you beat the Phillies at the bank in 7, it's a pretty.
It's a big feat. Hard to do. Yeah, it's a big feat
in a game 7 like that. Yeah.
I love the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are kind of like a team where, if you would have told me they were going to be in the World Series to start the season last year, I'd be like, "Oh, come on!"
Wow.
That's funny because it was such an interesting young core where they just had some names that gelled well together, and like you said, all you need to do is get into the playoffs, and then anything can happen, especially in October. So shout out to the Diamondbacks, and like you said, man, they literally got better. They were a team that were almost won a World Series.
84 wins last year.
Yeah, and they
got better.
And they got better. They
should be over 90.
Yeah. By the way, this in-divisional thing, I know it's like for football, you definitely don't want to see in-division, signings or whatever. Baseball, this division, you're seeing guys change from team to team in the same division. Jock goes to the Diamondbacks. That's a big move for the Diamondbacks to get Jock Peterson. So I love it. Obviously, Tanner's very high in the Diamondbacks, so I kind of let him go there, but the Diamondbacks, man, they're a team that will pretty much, I think, be at that 2. Obviously, I have the Giants sliding in there, but I think they could maybe give the push to maybe give the Dodgers a fight up until maybe August. Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Probably not.
Who
Maybe.
knows, man?
Yeah, I think the Diamondbacks are probably going to be my National League champ. Like when it comes to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they'll win this division.
No.
When it comes to the playoffs, I just like in a playoff series it's so hard. Like this Diamondback roster, they don't have any weaknesses. Like I think they have the best pitching rotation in baseball.
Yep.
Because you guys forgot to mention Brandon Pfaadt, who was a rookie last year, and he went off in the playoffs and was really good as a rookie. And that's their 4. Like they saw Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen, Eduardo Rodriguez. Like their rotation is deep. They have a really good bullpen. They got Sewell from the Mariners.
Yep.
Jock Peterson might not even start every day on this team.
Yeah.
No.
Like that's how good this team is.
Not, yeah.
I love this Diamondbacks team. I think they'll probably win 90 to 95 games. I think they can win the National League in the playoffs.
Yeah, they might win 90, 95 games, but they might still finish 15 games back.
The Dodgers,
from the Dodgers,
who could legitimately win 120 games.
Yeah.
I'm not messing around when I say that. As we go to number 1, another quick note on the Diamondbacks. They're also just kind of they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Man. They're really good to watch. You got Carroll on the outfield doing his thing as a rookie last year, one of the best players in the league.
I think he wins MVP.
His MVP talk,
could be a 30-30 guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh yeah.
But anyway, number 1 is the Dodgers. We've never seen an offseason like the Dodgers had in the history of any sport.
Nope.
At least American sport. I'm not familiar with the Premier League. Too familiar with the Premier League and all that. Never seen an offseason.
I'm gonna guess though that
never
it doesn't
seen the offseason in the history of the Dodgers have. Gave Shohei $700 million. And he's probably going to gamble that all away, but Shohei has $700 million as of right now in the bank. And then he goes, I only make $2 million a year for the first 9 years, and you just give me like $680, whatever it is. And then, okay, here's Tyler Glasnow from the Rays. We'll give you, $120 million?
Mm-hmm.
And, the best Japanese pitcher, ever coming over since, whatever is... We'll give you, $250 million, whatever it was?
Yeah.
Just keep Yamamoto coming over. I've just never seen it. Their top 3, it goes Betts, Ohtani, Freeman.
Yep.
I don't know if there's been a better top 3 to the batting order in the history of the MLB.
They have an all-star lineup, whether it's in a starting rotation, it's a lineup.
But then they have an MVP top 3.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I saw something when I was looking up this division to see the acquisitions and all that. They, according to Sports Illustrated, as of December, they spent more money than every MLB team combined, and I believe they're sitting at $1.2 billion spent this offseason. The team is valued at $4 billion, and they went out and spent 1.3 or 1.2 this offseason.
Yeah.
It is incredible. They are flashing their wallets. They're saying, you know what? We're going to buy this. We're going to buy a World Series. That's what they're doing. They're going to buy a World Series. But as we all know, in the great game of baseball, you might win 120 games. Who cares, right? It's just like any postseason. It is the records are back to 0. You got to go win a 7-game series. And obviously they're more than willing to do that because, like you said, even if they lose a guy, okay, well, look, because they have a great farm system too. Like the Dodgers, man, they are set. If you are a Dodgers fan and not a bandwagon, wow, you are incredible because they have one of the best farm systems, one of the best lineups, one of the best rosters. They are going to win for year after year after year after year. So, I mean, shout out to the Dodgers, I guess, but
I disagree.
Go ahead.
I think they'll win 100 games because they're good, but they still have glaring weaknesses on their roster, glaring question marks. James Outman, is he going to be that good in his second year? Is Max Muncy going to keep his strikeouts down? Is Gavin Lux going to come off an injury?
You're still talking about guys who
Chris Taylor gonna
can be all-stars.
Outside of those main guys, I have a lot of concerns with that.
I think Max Muncy, if he's a question mark for the Dodgers, I think they're doing okay.
But I mean, again, he's a guy that could strike out 40% of his at bats.
But he might hit 40 home runs.
He might hit 40 home runs, but if you're not putting the ball in play, it's still,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think their pitching staff is going to choke in the playoffs again.
So I don't know. But they have these top 3 pitchers, and then Walker Buehler might come back. He's going to come back sometime.
Yeah.
If you guys made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. March Madness coming up in the next episode. Check out, if you're in the bracket pool, check out where you rank. Again, the winner of it gets to come on the podcast, have your own little segment of it. But we might.
I'm last.
Oh, Mayo's in last. He said.
He had Akron winning it all, so tough game.
By about Thursday afternoon.
Baylor versus Akron.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, yeah. Well, you won't come in last.
Maybe if you get that bad in last, we might get you on too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That'd be fun.
Who knows?
Yeah, but
if you score 300
check out the bracket. Again, we're Brett's in first, but I think we have a 22% chance of winning. I think that they really cool.
That's what we do.
The bracket stuff does it. But yeah, if you guys made this far, like, subscribe, send it to someone, and we'll see you guys on Friday.
Peace.
See ya.